Hello everybody, welcome to Sports Federation TV. My name's JP Nordier. I'm your host this evening, standing in for Lenyukta Chetty. She'll be back next week. This is of course Sports Federation TV, where we look after the federations in the Western Cape. Western Cape of course made up of 6 districts, in case you haven't been aware of that in the past. There's of course the Cape Town district, the West Coast, the Overberg, the Central Karoo, the Eden, and of course Cape Winelands. Those are your 6 districts. And of course the show is dedicated to amateur sport and the federations that are affiliated to the SASCOC structures. And right here we give the opportunity to federations who perhaps haven't got the ability to create their own television shows or get media out there, and hence the fact that we've got Federation TV looking after amateur sport in the Western Cape. We've got an interesting lineup tonight. We'll be talking to the folks from the world of boxing. Life Saving joins us a little bit later, and we'll be speaking to karate. We haven't had karate on the show for a while, and the guys from Kyokushin Karate recently went to go and compete in the South African Championships in Polokwane. Will be joining us to tell us about their exploits. Folks, joining me now is of course a legend. We grew up watching this man boxing, I don't know on which different channels. Cassius Baloyi, 6-time world champion. Cassius, welcome to Federation TV.
Thank you.
Long time overdue that we get you down from Johannesburg, down in Cape Town now, and we want to find out from you how the boxing is going. We believe that you're opening a clinic down here in Cape Town.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing some clinics like in September.
Okay.
And now I'm just here for the exhibition fight on Thursday. On Friday. It's Friday or Thursday?
Friday.
On Friday.
And of course with you is Lillian Gravel. Lillian, you're from the Armory Boxing Club here in Cape Town.
Yes, that's correct.
The Armory's made quite a name for itself for white collar boxing. Obviously you guys are very busy. Tell us a little bit about the link between the Armory and Cassius. How did that come about?
I think the link would be obviously me coming into the Armory, which was in April this year.
Yeah.
And having moved into Cape Town, heard about the Armory, got into the Armory, started working there, and of course immediately couldn't stop talking about Cassius and our past relationship.
Did you guys know each other already from Joburg? Is that?
Yes, that's the thing. Cassius and I were running the gym together.
All right.
Cassius is still running the gym there. We set it up in 2010, starting with training amateurs and then just people for recreation.
Yeah.
And before that, I was Cassius's conditioning coach back when he was fighting. And yeah, that's basically, I met him in 2007.
Cassius, let's talk a little bit about you. I mean, I grew up with your name. Fiddled around a little bit of boxing myself as a child. Didn't get anywhere. You, 6-time world champion. You started at the age of 6, like many kids that put on a set of boxing gloves, and maybe we all don't continue. But how did it go from you? You started with, I believe, with your father.
Yeah, I started with my father like 84, I think.
Yeah.
You know, we used to go watch boxing fights at our neighbors. Like when guys like Al Mohammed fight, we used to go to the neighbors and watch. But he was a Ali Mohammed fan.
Yes, yeah.
That's where I got this name, Cassius.
Oh, is that where the name comes from?
Yeah, it comes from Cassius Clay.
Yes.
You know, remember 1974?
Yeah.
That was the year I was born.
Right.
My mother was pregnant, and there was this fight between Ali Mohammed and George Foreman.
Yeah, the Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah, Rumble in the
Jungle.
Yes, that fight. And my father was an Ali Mohammed fan.
Yeah.
And most of his friends were George Foreman's fan.
Yeah.
George Foreman, I think he beat Joe Frazier 3 times.
Yes, yeah.
Al Mohammed struggled against
Frazier. Yeah.
My father's friends, they were saying like,
he's gonna beat Ali.
Yeah, my father said no, he's not gonna beat him. If I know he's gonna win the fight, and my wife is pregnant. If my wife gets a boy, I'm gonna name him Cassius.
Cassius.
Yeah,
but she didn't give you the full name, eh? Cassius Baloyi, Cassius Clay.
Yeah, no, just Cassius.
That was an incredible fight. I mean, everybody knows it from that documentary when we were kings and of course everybody in the Congo was shouting Afrique, Bombay, hey, Afrique.
yeah.
Yes, yeah. So you went on to fight, I think, what, 37 wins, 8 losses and a draw. I mean, that's a long career.
Yeah,
you must be very happy with your boxing career.
Yeah, I'm very happy with my boxing career, but the like a lot of the guys, people, they don't know my amateur career.
Yes.
You know, if I can like go back, I want to go to Olympics, because when I started boxing, I wanted to win gold in the Olympics.
Yes, yeah.
And then when I was boxing training, when I was little, I was training to be a Olympian. And then I won everything in South Africa. I won SA champ, I don't know how many times. And then I qualified for the World Championships. I won the World Championships in 91 or 92. And I qualified for Barcelona Olympics.
Yes.
But I didn't fight. But I went with the team to Barcelona.
Yeah.
So now I've retired. I'm training young boys now.
But I believe you haven't got completely retired, because you're now coming back into the ring. You've got an exhibition fight coming up.
Yeah.
Lillian, maybe you tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's happening at the Armory. We've got an event on Friday night.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a white collar boxing event, and it's for our people who've been through a 12-week course. And on the top of the card, we're going to have Cassius fighting a long-term standing coach, Lillian Gravel, who's been there for 10 years. He says he's had 4 fights from before, but he hasn't really been active. Just a bit of sparring with his clients.
Yeah.
Which he loves to do.
Yeah.
And when we mentioned that we were going to bring Cassius down, we're planning the boxing clinic, then we'd like to bring him down first to, everyone to meet him and see what he's about. And we said, well, we should have an exhibition fight.
Yeah.
And then we thought, well, who the best person would be for Aladdin, and it really, he's very excited. Cassius is excited to be back in the ring. It's been how many years?
Just tell us again, when is the fight?
It's this Friday. This Friday night. Yeah.
All right, so of course people who are watching this now are going to possibly. All right, so listen. Before in fact, I believe we've got a clip here of you guys training in the gym. This is at the Armory. Let's have a look at this clip, and we can come back and explain to us a little bit more about what white collar boxing is about. And then I believe, of course, Cash has got the clinics that are going to be rolling out here, and that's going to be fantastic for the athletes in Cape Town. But let's take a look at the clip, folks. Welcome back, everybody. Of course, Cassius Baloyi, former world champion, will be taking on Aladdin at the Armory. Of course, is on right now. Maybe we'll get some photographs and videos from you guys after the event, and we can put it on the show. Cassius, you've had more than 200 fights. Aladdin's had 4 fights. How can this be fair?
That was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe explain to us before, because I'd like to speak to you about the clinics and what your plans are there, but just quickly explain to us white collar boxing. A lot of people still don't understand the difference between normal boxing, white collar boxing. In fact, there's a big difference also in South Africa between amateur boxing and professional boxing. But white collar boxing is more for the man in the street who's not an amateur or a professional.
Yeah, no, white collar boxing is more for the person who has a day job. You know, they have careers, they have families, they have children, or they're busy, but they need an outlet. And it's perfect for the professional types, the financial types.
And so you've had a tough day at work and you want to come smash the bag.
That's it. It's perfect for them. And I think that's really the drawing card for them.
Cassius, tell us a little bit about the clinics. They're going to be rolling out soon, of course, together with Lillian from a conditioning perspective. What are your plans?
Yeah, I'm looking forward for this for September, and I'm just here to teach the guys what boxing is all about.
Right.
You see,
So will you be teaching some of the corporate guys and some of the amateur boxers, a mix of people?
Yeah, a mix of people. Anyone who wants to come, he or she can come.
And what about age groups? Kids, old people, young people?
All, like today before I come here, I was sparring with Steve, the owner of Amari. He's 50 something years old.
Right.
But so it's for everyone.
Okay.
Everyone can come.
All right.
Boys, girls, yeah.
Tell us a little about the clinics themselves. Where will people be able to find out about it? Is there a cost associated?
I'm not too sure of the cost, but they can email the Armory at info@armoryboxing.com. It's for September. Spaces will be limited. We're looking at getting a group of about no more than 20, probably 2 day.
20 at a time.
20 at a time. We don't want it to be too big. We want them to each be able to have the one-on-one time as well. Okay, so it's carefully planned out. So we're going to start off with your just basic skills, and then we're going to go on to ring generalship. Reading your opponent, getting really in depth into what actually happens in a fight. As well as each person's individual style.
How many days will the clinic be?
It'll be probably a half a day.
Right.
Half a day clinic, just to get the ball rolling. And depending on the response, and maybe it can be an ongoing thing.
And will those guys doing the clinic, will they have an opportunity to actually put the gloves on and box?
Yes, they'll all have an opportunity to spar with Cassius and amongst themselves. And then Cassius can also then go and walk around and attend to everybody, basically.
So Cassius, you're going to be sparring with 20 people?
Yeah, I'm sparring with 20.
But for you, that's easy.
It's very easy.
Very easy for you.
Because even in the gym, my gym in Joburg, there are like maybe 10 guys in the class. I spar everyone.
So listen, let me ask you a little bit before we end off today. Boxing in South Africa is of course an interesting sport. You've got professional boxing, you've got amateur boxing. What advice have you got for the guys out there that are amateur boxers? It's still one of those sports that is supposed to be the sport that anybody can do. If there's a local club, you join the club and you can become a boxer. But it's a difficult sport, and boxing is always struggling. What advice have you got for the young guys out there?
For the young guys, because like me now, I'm not like in a professional side now. I would like to groom young boxers. And these young boxers, when they come to the gym, they want to box, but their goal is to be a professional boxer, a world champion like me. They forget where I came from. Me, I won the world amateur championships. The young people, when they come to the gym, their goal must be to win Olympic medals, gold there in the Olympics.
But it's not an easy road. You've got to put in hard work.
Yeah, we've got to put in hard work. You win those championships, it's going to be easy for them to go to professionals.
So
you first want to do well as an amateur, and then maybe turn professional. For the kids out there, I mean, have we got enough boxing heroes in South Africa, role models that the kids can look up to become a boxer and want to be like? I mean, you maybe wanted to be like Joe Frazier or George Foreman or Muhammad Ali, or some of the maybe even some of the lighter weight guys. Have we got enough role models out there, boxing role models?
Like at the moment, I've been like watch like amateur boxers, But I think the up, because like my dad is in the pump. My dad is the one who like brought me to this sport.
Yeah.
They still got the team in the pump. A lot of his boxers are going to like SA titles,
Yes,
the SA championships. But yeah, I think we've got like boxers to be like me is one day.
All right, Cassius, we're going to leave it at that. Thanks for joining us on the show. We wish you guys best of luck at the clinic. Don't beat everybody up.
Okay.
Lillian, thanks very much. Good luck tonight, and we look forward to having Cassius back in Cape Town and do some great clinics, and maybe we'll see some champions come through the ranks.
Thank you very much. It was awesome to be here.
Thanks, Cassius.
Thank you.
Right, folks, that's of course Sports Federation TV here. We're talking boxing. Cassius Baloyi, of course, former 6-time world champion, came through the ranks and has certainly made South Africa proud in the world of boxing, and that's what we're looking for. So the youngsters out there, if you want to choose a role model, then somebody like Cassius here is, of course, you can't find any better. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll be speaking to the guys from Life Saving. Nathan Brits will be joining us, Stephen Sparks, and of course we've got the president of Life Saving South Africa on the show with us tonight, Dylan Tommy. Haven't had him on the show for a while, but we're looking forward to hearing from him. And then in the end of the show, so you mustn't go anywhere, we've got the guys from Kyokushin Karate joining us. They recently went to go fight in Sheshego, in Polokwane, in the South African Championships, and it's going to be fantastic talking to them. The Kyokushin style is one that is slightly different. Those rules are full contact rules, and you want to see the size of these fighters. They're definitely on a different level. Now, for those of you who have just joined us, you'll of course know that Bashoes is on board with Cape, at least with Sports Federation TV. Can you remember the old Bashoes cool drinks, those trucks that used to come past your house? This is certainly, I'm guessing it's South Africa's oldest cool drink. Started back in 1899. And I think many of us, well, we might not have been born in 1899, but many of us will remember Bashoes as the guys that used to come past the house and drop off the cool drinks and pick up your old glass bottles, and then you would get yours. There wasn't a wooden crate. It was fantastic. And Bashoes today has come onto the market with some really fantastic cool drinks, and of course they've come on board with Sports Federation TV to support the show, and of course support sport wherever they can. But now you can win yourself a case of Bashoes a little bit later in the show, so don't go anywhere. You're going to need your cell phones when we ask you who the cool drink supplier is to Sports Federation TV. We'll be back after the break, and we'll be talking life saving.